You're 16, pulling a broken water heater across your neighbor's yard in a red wagon to earn $8 cash at the local scrapyard. 25 years later, you walk away from a yard your family founded with just one truck, $42.3 million wired at closing. Between these 2 points lies a $43.3 billion U.S. industry and one of America's 4 most lethal professions, with 41.4 deaths per 100,000 workers. This narrative traces every stage of a scrapyard worker's journey and the true cost of advancement. That's what Rank Breakdown is all about. If you like career breakdowns with real numbers and no fluff, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Level 1. The Garage Scrapper. You're 16 and your dad's Ford F-150 sits in the driveway, a broken water heater resting in its bed. You maneuver it onto a hand truck, weighing it on the bathroom scale, 80 pounds of cold steel and foam. You flatten soda cans and bag them into a contractor's sack. With a utility knife, you strip insulation from a coil of Romex. The copper beneath shines like a new penny. Your hand magnet remains tucked in your back pocket. Steel adheres, copper and aluminum do not. That's the sole test. You load 2 washing machine shells into the truck and pull onto the drive-on scale. The yardman points towards a bin without speaking. You upend the bag, and cans clatter against the metal. He reweighs the truck, hands you a paper ticket, and the cashier counts out $8 in singles. Aluminum cans are fetching 60 cents a pound this week. Nathan Zach, who founded his company from his garage at 16 with the same hand magnet and wagon, now has his name on a national recycling enterprise. You once missorted a copper pile, and the buyer demoted it from number 1 to number 2. You never repeat that error. Sorting becomes ingrained. You stop double-checking the magnet. You exit the cashier's window with cash no one knew you'd earned. Level 2. The You-Pull-It Yard Laborer. You're 18, clad in Walmart steel toes, earning $16 an hour. A tow truck deposits a wrecked Toyota Camry onto the intake pad, and the foreman directs you to the drip pans. You drain the gasoline into a sealed jerry can, sever the seatbelts with a sawzall, remove the airbags, disconnect the battery, and punch off the catalytic converter with an air chisel. The catalytic converter goes into a locked steel cage near the office. The car, now on jack stands, moves to row 47. You guide a customer to row 47 in the rain. His daughter's Camry needs an alternator. He pays $55 at the counter. The shop down the street quoted $300. You begin parking around the corner to avoid customers during lunch breaks. An Indeed reviewer plainly stated, "Safety over production, no exceptions." You grasp this truth the first time you witness a Camry slip from a jack stand. California enacted Assembly Bill 1740 in 2022. The yard logs the VIN, year, make, and seller's business license for every catalytic converter received. A pull-apart yard pays $250 to $500 for an entire junk car. The converter alone fetches $50 to $1,500. The car is the packaging, the converter is the prize. You acquire your OSHA 10 card on a Tuesday. The foreman learns your name by Wednesday. By Friday, you've completely stripped 9 cars. The row is yours. Level 3, the Industrial Torch Cutter. You're 23, making $23.64 an hour at a Harsco yard in Midlothian, Texas. Your leathers weigh 10 pounds before you pick up the torch. You don FR chaps, a welding hood, and attach a propane bottle to a cart. The massive object before you, a railcar bogie, 5,000 pounds of cast steel, must be reduced to under 5 feet for the mill. You mark the cut line at 60 inches and ignite the Victor torch with a striker. You preheat the bevel until the steel glows the color of a sunset, engage the oxygen lever, and proceed with the cut. Slag cascades onto your boots. The scent of burnt galvanizing invades your sinuses and lingers through the entire shift. You neglect to chain off a steel plate, and it shifts when the loader bumps the stack. The plate catches your boots back, tearing the leather but sparing your foot. You eat lunch in the truck. A 2017 state file, New York FACE 17NY023, details a 49-year-old yard worker killed by a front-end loader. Cause of death, severe blunt trauma. You read it, taped to the break room wall. The most perilous aspect of the yard isn't the torch, it's the loader operator who cannot see you behind a stack. You learn to make eye contact with the cab every single time. Jerry Bailey, owner of Rose Metal Processing in Houston, noted that the material handlers move around laying out work for our torch burners. That's you. You reduce the massive bogey to mill size in one shift. The foreman walks past you to the next pile, which is the only compliment that truly matters. You stop flinching at the torch's strike. Level 4, the equipment operator and grader. You're 28, and the cab is orange. You're operating a Cenobogan material handler equipped with an orange peel grapple. Skipping translation, source equals target language. Preferred qualifications for the position included 1 year of experience operating Volvo, Liebherr, or Cenobogan machinery within the scrap, waste, or demolition sectors. The radio constantly crackles with chatter, and the cab interior carries the distinct scent of diesel. A Camry pulls onto the inbound scale, registering a tare weight of 2,650 pounds. You smoothly maneuver the grapple, hoisting it onto the pre-shred conveyor, and in merely 90 seconds, the 9,000 horsepower mega shredder reduces it to fist-sized fragments. The noise reaches your teeth before it reaches your ears. The magnetic drum extracts the ferrous metals. The eddy current separator then propels the non-ferrous materials off the belt. This material is known as Zorba. According to ISRI specifications, it must contain at least 65% aluminum by weight to be shipped. An undetonated airbag overlooked by the depopulation crew suddenly inflates within the chamber, mimicking the sound of a gunshot. At night, an XRF gun becomes a constant companion, holstered at your hip. A roll-off truck arrives carrying mixed copper. You approach with the gun, assessing the load's grade in 18 minutes. Bare bright copper currently fetches $3.40 per pound. Roberto Lorda, lead operator at Rose Metal, conveyed to the owner during a vendor demonstration, "Mr. Bailey, please don't return that green machine." You grasp the sentiment, your first shift in a cab that operates effortlessly. The frag travels by railcar to a new core mill. The Zorba is stockpiled for export, its destination determined by China's purchasing activity. Mark Hedekich of Alter Trading remarked to Recycling, "Today, ever since Chinese New Year, they have been very quiet. You experience the impact of this comment on the following morning's buy price. You cease keeping the scale tickets." Level 5 envisions you as the yard manager and commercial buyer. You're 38, and a whiteboard dominates your office. This whiteboard displays the daily buy prices for copper, brass, and HMS. When you adjust a figure, the entire town's pricing shifts accordingly. The role offers an annual salary ranging from $42,000 to $120,000, influenced by your established client base. You participate in the daily mill call at 6:15, Nucor on Monday, Gerdau on Tuesday, and the prices displayed on your board are derived from these calls. A demolition contractor seeks to dispose of a shopping mall's worth of structural steel. You provide a quote per gross ton, dispatch a roll-off, and the truck weighs in at 42,000 pounds. The grader identifies 4% as contamination, and you issue the check within 24 hours. The customer pays $327.64 per ton for HMS. You secure the profit margin. Rob Goldstein, fourth-generation chairman of Alter Trading in St. Louis, once stated at an industry session, "We are an opportunistic company, and if there is a reason to make a move, we will explore it." You interpret this for yourself. Every yard has a price. China's Operation National Sword in 2017 caused an immediate collapse of the Zorba export market. Section 232 in 2018 altered mill demand for scrap within the same calendar year. You maintain operations through a 30% drop in copper prices within a single week. The old price comes off the board, the new number goes up, the trucks continue to stream through the gate, you stop retaining your pay stubs. Level 6, you are now the yard owner, you're 58 and the banker is on speakerphone. You oversee 5 facilities, including a refurbished, older shredder at the flagship location. Your domain spans 2.9 acres, featuring 4 Cenobogan material handlers and a torch crew you've retained for 12 years. SA Recycling operates 130 yards, processing 5 million tons annually, generating $3.8 billion in revenue. You represent a feeder yard that a new core mill cannot afford to lose. The banker reaches out to the major players. You sign an NDA. The data room opens, revealing yard maps, mill contracts, and Phase 2 environmental reports dating back 15 years. In 1996, Schnitzer Steel bid $35 million for Houston-based Proler International. Hugo New submitted a counterbid, and the transaction finalized at $42.3 million, a 21% increase from the initial offer. Nucor acquired the David J. Joseph Company in 2008 for $1.4 billion, encompassing 35 yards, 12 shredders, and 1,700 employees. The company was founded in 1885. Toyota Tsusho purchased Radius Recycling in 2025 for $907 million. Sims Metal bought Baltimore Scrap Corp in 2023 for $177 million. Bob Kellman of Sims described a smaller deal as a strategic addition to our network of feeder yards. This is the exact phrase you've been longing to read about your own yard. You await the counterbid. The wire transfer clears on a Thursday at 2 in the afternoon. You traverse the catwalk above the shredder line, feeling the rumble through your boots before hearing it. The teenager with a radio flyer wagon and the seller of a $42.3 million yard perform the same fundamental task: identifying steel from non-steel and accurately timing the market. The specific tools evolve. The underlying discipline, however, remains constant. Copper sells for $3.40 a pound in Newark and in Modesto. Aluminum cans fetch 60 cents a pound from Maine to San Diego. The difference between the purchase and sale price covers the expenses for every yard situated between these two coasts. The industry that absorbed your yard generates $43.3 billion in annual revenue, with 171,470 individuals clocking in to ensure its operation, each earning an average of $90,100. You sacrificed a Christmas or two during your ascent, and you would gladly do it again under the same conditions. The new owner offers you a 1-year consulting position. You decline. You drive past the gate on a Tuesday morning, spotting a kid on the inbound scale with a damaged water heater in the bed of an F-150. He's roughly 16. The yardman wordlessly gestures towards the designated bin. The cans clatter. The cashier at the window slides $8 across to you. Your father's old hand magnet, taken from his pickup, is now displayed on your desk in a glass case, right alongside the very first scale ticket you ever redeemed for cash. That ladder remains with him still on its initial step. The vista from the summit bears a specific name, and that name is yours.